Welcome back everybody to JBS. When we left off, things weren't looking quite so good. It was looking good from the perspective that Israel was doing well as a kingdom, but as a godly nation, they were failing big time. And so, as you can see, what it was supposed to be was it was supposed to be a kingdom for God. God uses the words a kingdom of priests, a royal priesthood. What that means is that by their lifestyle, they were supposed to show all the nations around them who God was. They were supposed to kind of evangelize to these nations by just existing, by following God's way of life. And in this nation, it was God's people, the Israelites, who were supposed to be doing this. And they were supposed to be doing this through the help and guidance of the law and the kings who enforced it within the nation of Israel. But unfortunately, they failed. They did really bad stuff. They disobeyed God's commandments. They even turned to other gods. And when we look at the next section, which is the Prophesied kingdom, we get to chug along into the prophets. And I love the prophets. Specifically, there's this one prophet called Hosea. And he is perfect for understanding this kind of situation. So, have a little pause of this video. Read through Hosea chapter 1, 2, and 3. It sounds like a lot, but they're actually quite short chapters. So go ahead, do that, and then play the video again. So do you understand? Did you kind of pick up on some of the comparisons? You know, Hosea is told to go and marry a prostitute. Now, a prostitute is an adulterous woman, a woman who sleeps with many different people. And the entire point of this is that Hosea is supposed to be God in this analogy. He's supposed to be the one who remains faithful and committed to this one person, while that person is committed to nobody and just goes around to everybody. And like that, the Israelites have abandoned God. They've turned to other gods. And they've worshipped them instead of the one true living God. And so finally, God says enough is enough. Just like in the Garden of Eden. Just like to the nations before them. The Israelites are driven out of the land. Two nations, Assyria comes in and conquers the Israel, the top kingdom, and takes them away into slavery. And then Babylon comes along and takes the southern kingdom, Judah, and takes them out into slavery. And things really don't look good here. There's almost no Israel at the moment. There's barely anybody left in the land. And these kingdoms, the land isn't even their own anymore. They're now kingdom. They're now under the ownership of the Assyrian and Babylonian empires. And so things are looking pretty bad. Through this time, there are a bunch of people that come along called the prophets. And what they do is they teach, not of this current situation, but they look forward to a future kingdom, one that will be so much better than this one. And prophets like Isaiah and Jeremiah and Ezekiel all have this special kind of focus pointed towards the future. Not just in today, although there is a lot of that. They're looking forward to a kingdom. And so this new kingdom, it looks pretty amazing. We're told that this new kingdom is not going to, it's going to be a little bit different, mainly because it's going to involve a new creation. And we've never heard of anything like this before, right? We had the creation all the way in the very beginning of the Bible, and now it looks like everything is going to be made new. And we're going to get a brand new one. It looks like we're going to be getting a new king, one that isn't a failure, one who does everything right, who follows the law perfectly, and who obeys God perfectly, and who teaches everybody to also follow God perfectly. And we also see that this new kingdom is going to include all the nations, not just Israel, but all of the nations. It's going to be an incredibly inclusive kingdom. And this little pointing towards the future, this little point is given at this particular time for a very specific reason. And that reason is for hope. Even though the Israelites have forsaken God, abandoned their covenant, broken it, God hasn't quite given up on them. That He's going to punish them because He has to. That's what a just God does. This is justice, but the story doesn't end there. God still has that covenant with Abraham. These people are going to be His people, and He will stick by them. And once He's punished them, they're going to look forward to this kingdom, and they're going to experience that reality. And we're going to have a little look in the present kingdom next week. And we're going to see there is perhaps someone who comes closest to that. I'm going to leave you there, and I'll see you guys next week.